Are you nervous about speaking English at the airport? Don't worry, you are not alone. And today, we're going to practice real-life English conversation at the airport so you can feel confident and ready for your next trip. So here's how our conversation will go. First, I will say my line and you will see your line on the screen. To make the best out of this practice, I encourage you to say your lines out loud. This way, it will look very real, quite the same as if we are communicating together real time. Then, once we finish the conversation, we'll go over the important airport vocabulary that was actually mentioned in the conversation. And by the way, I created a free PDF document containing the most popular vocabulary and expressions used at the airport. So after watching the video, you might want to download your copy and practice your vocabulary anytime. You can find the link in the description box below. Are you ready? Let's start. Excuse me, do you know where the check-in counter is for this flight? Thank you. Do you happen to know if there will be a stopover on this flight? Yes, I have. But what about cabin pressure? Will it be an issue during the flight? Perfect. Anyway, do you think I can fit this bag in the overhead compartment in the airplane? That's good to know. By the way, do you prefer an aisle seat or a window seat? I prefer window seat as I like to look out at the airfield during takeoff and landing. Speaking of which, do you know if we will be boarding through a footbridge or taking a bus to the aircraft? Okay, thanks for your help. I hope we have a smooth flight with no delays or issues. That was perfect, wasn't it? Now let's have a look at all the words and phrases we've covered in our conversation. Check-in counter. This refers to the desk or area at the airport where you can check in for your flight. At the check-in counter, you can receive your boarding pass, you can drop off your checked luggage, and you can ask any questions you may have about your flight. Stopover. A stopover is a planned layover or break in your journey. It's when you pause in a city or airport for a certain amount of time before you continue to your final destination. Airfield. This is the large open area used for takeoffs and landings of the airplanes. This is where aircraft are parked, refueled, and maintained. Overhead compartment. This is the storage area above the seats on a plane. Now, passengers can store their carry-on bags in the overhead compartment during the flight. Cabin pressure. This refers to the air pressure inside the airplane's cabin. Now, cabin pressure needs to be controlled and maintained during the flight in order to ensure that passengers can breathe comfortably. Footbridge, or also known as an air bridge. Now, this is the movable enclosed walkway that will connect the airport terminal to the airplane. Now, passengers can directly walk from the terminal to the airplane without going outside. Corridor. Now, this is a long, narrow passage or hallway that connects different parts of the airport terminal. This is the place where passengers can walk to get to their gate or other airport facilities. Aisle seat. Now, this is the seat that is located next to the aisle on the airplane. Passengers can easily get up and they can move around the cabin if they're seated in an aisle seat. Metal detector. This is a security device used to detect metallic objects on a person's body. Passengers must walk through a metal detector as part of the security check process at the airport. Security check. This is the process where passengers and their luggage are screened for security purposes before boarding a plane. It includes walking through a metal detector, scanning your luggage, and checking your passport and your boarding pass. Now, to practice if you've learned all of these words, I prepared a short quiz to test your knowledge. But before we do that, let me remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and give this video a like because apparently it helps the algorithm. Now, let's see how many of these sentences you will guess correctly. Check-in counter. A flight that makes a temporary stop at a destination before continuing to its final destination. Airfield. Overhead compartment. The pressure inside the plane's cabin during flight. A bridge that connects the airport terminal to a plane. A long, narrow passage in a building that leads to other rooms or areas. A seat located near the aisle of the airplane. A device that detects metal objects used at the airport security. A process of checking passengers and their belongings before boarding a flight. So, how many did you guess correctly? Let me know in the comments. Finally, if you're someone who struggles with getting stuck in English whenever you need to speak, then I suggest you watch this video next where I explain why you get stuck and what you can do to improve your fluency at home. Until the next video, I wish you a beautiful day, stay zen, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!